Hello and welcome to your astrological vibrations for Friday, September 30th, 2022 by Gaia Blooming. I am Mimi and our energy mantra for today is I use the lens of spirit to view my relations. And today we have the moon moving through Sagittarius, and as I sat down to do the scope out of nowhere, I can't even remember the last time I could have possibly even heard this song. I heard the song I Can See for Miles. I think that's what it's called, by The Who. And it just kept playing that part. Like, I can see for miles and miles and miles and miles. And that's a gift of Sagittarius, is being able to see things from a higher perspective. That doesn't mean like a better perspective. It's just like seeing via an owl in the tree or an eagle in the sky and being able to see like more of the horizon, a broader perspective. Maybe that's a better word, a broader perspective. And so we're being asked to look through that lens as we move through the astro energy. Now, speaking of that, I also have the projections card. And so we have to recognize that that quote that we don't see things as they are. We see things as we are. Is it 100%? No. You know, like we do see things, some things accurately, but anything we do view through our filter of experience, our filter of trauma. Sometimes we put on the rose-colored filter. Sometimes we put on the green-colored filter. There's so many different layers in which we view things. And so having that awareness as we move through this weekend, one of the things that we're going to be experiencing is Venus opposite Jupiter, and that can definitely bring up the me-we tug-of-war energy. And so this gives us an opportunity to be like, hey, maybe my perspective has validity. Hey, maybe their perspective has validity. And sometimes we just need to hold space for both, even if it feels opposite, even if it doesn't feel aligned. I do not find this easy, but I feel like one of the best things that we can do is hold a space of allowing around people's individual evolution process. You can't force it. You cannot force it. And it doesn't matter how good they are, how earnest they are to even want to show up. You cannot force it. People need to grow through what they go through. So this is asking us to hold that spiritual perspective, the spirit of the spirit of spirit, basically, to allow the unfolding in and through this. This is also, we're in the last 2 days of Mercury retrograde, and Mercury began its retrograde process in Libra. So there are still lessons around our relationships, and that Mercury in Virgo could go to the critical place, and yet that's not the work. In fact, even Mercury an opposite of an opposite. I cannot wait till Mercury retrograde is over and I can use words again because they've been hard. Mercury in opposition to Neptune is again reminding us like, hey, there is a spiritual layer on top of all of this stuff. And keeping that in mind sometimes can just help us grow through it, right? So keep that in mind as we move through this weekend. So today's astro, the moon is going to be connecting to Jupiter. So it's like getting us ready, like amping up that me. And the me is so important, right? The me is important. The you is important in any relationship. That's why you're in relationship, among other things, is to learn even more about you. And if you can pull that perspective back to you, you can learn so much. And then hold the perspective of allowing for them. As you are learning about you, you will see so much shift happen. But having the projections card, we may find ourselves in projections. And this card is saying, hey, there's illusions in that. And some of those illusions are the perspectives through which we see. And again, these perspectives through which we see are meant to be there for us to learn our lessons. So keep bringing it back to you and through this energy. So that's highlighting it. It's also really strong creative energy. So as you focus on you rather than focusing on the outside, you may find some beautiful creative momentum building. Sun and moon connecting as well also brings that. It's a really great day. Like, this is great. Get together, have philosophical discussions. You may really find some major ahas moving through in this energy, especially if you can stay beyond the projection. Again, bring the projection back to you and be like, what's my lesson in here? And see it through the eyes of Source and see what Source is trying to tell you. Oh, I love this. Right here behind it, we have the understanding card. So getting beyond the projections, holding that space of understanding. Speaking of creative energy, like I said, we're in creator. Rather than focusing outside, what are you wanting to bring forth from you in and through all of this? Completion. Beautiful projects coming forth in and through your energy. And again, as Mercury finishes up, and as you focus on you, body, mind, spirit, soul, and heart, my participation card, bring all of you forth. Focus on the relationship within yourself to bring forth these creations, but just recognize it probably may have some temptations to be like, rah, rah, right? So recognize that in that energy. I'm going to leave that here for today. You can book a reading. Eclipse readings are getting started next week, so email me for that. Besides that, the better it gets, the better it gets. There's more than enough love in the world for you. You have the power, and honor your values. Namaste.